Hello and welcome to another episode of With Enough Prep Time. I'm your host, the Nerd Man, and today we're talking about the Justice League. Basically, the numbers are in for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, obviously, you guys have seen that I haven't been posting for a week. Apparently, I posted a review right after I'd seen the Snyder Cut, and YouTube somehow took offense to it, maybe because I used some trailer footage in the background, I don't know. But they basically gave me a strike and took me off for a week, so that's why you haven't seen me. But if you do want to see my Snyder Cut review, please go. I will put in the description box a link to my other channel, With Enough Prep Time, where I've got a lot of thoughts on the Snyder Cut. And needless to say, I thought it was very, very good. Really, really good. I was more than pleasantly surprised, and at times it even blew my mind, and I think it's a fantastic movie. And I really wish Zack Snyder would be able to, I don't like where he's going with the DC universe, but if he could come back with another proposal for how to continue the story with everyone alive and not in some nightmare universe, I'd be more than happy for him to return. Which takes us to the headline. Now, in terms of these numbers, I'm not a numbers guy. I don't know what ranks as a really good not. I suspect that the numbers here aren't going to be, I think they're very good, but the unrealistic expectations of what the Zack Snyder's Justice League was going to do in terms of numbers on HBO Max was always going to lead to disappointment. So let's start here. So this is from Deadline. I'm going to double check these numbers later, but they were comparing it to the Wonder Woman 1984 numbers. So Samba TV reports that Zack Snyder's Justice League drew 1.8 million HBO Max households in the first 5 minutes over its premiere weekend of March 19th to 21. That figure ranks behind the 2.2 million US households who watched Wonder Woman 1984 on the streamer over December 25th to 27th. Is that worldwide? Because there was a global release. I'm wondering what happened with the Snyder Cut globally. So there might have been more viewers there. So Samba TV polls terrestrial smart TVs separately. Insiders have informed us that the 4-hour plus Snyder Cut was massive, yet slotted. Yeah, so the cut was massive, but slotted behind Wonder Woman 1984. So I don't think these are embarrassing numbers whatsoever. Wonder Woman 1984 actually was whatever people want to say, it was actually a success, at least in its for its opening. So there was clearly interest in the property of Wonder Woman. And it doesn't surprise me that, the Justice League did less. Wonder Woman is a hugely popular character at the moment, probably the most popular character in the DCEU, or the most universally loved character in the DCEU. So it doesn't surprise me at all that these numbers for her film. Obviously, the film was a complete disaster in terms of, what it ended up being. And it was a complete embarrassment. But I think the Snyder Cut is a much better reviewed and much more beloved film by the fans, and even by the critics, I think, I would say. What does this say? Just to, we can go on just a little bit longer reading this. You don't have to read the whole thing. But Samba TV showed that the diversity breakdown for the Snyder Cut households were Black, 17%, Hispanic 20%, and Asian 18%, demos which over-indexed. Of the 25 largest markets, the most over-indexing were San Francisco plus 67%, Sacramento 33%, and Los Angeles 32%. Wonder Woman 1984 saw Seattle plus 93%, San Francisco plus 79%, and Portland plus 50%. over-indexing the most during its first weekend on the service, with households making 100K plus over performing when compared to the US overall, as well as households with people aged 25 to 54, Hispanic households 17%, and Asian households 14%. By the end of 2020, Wonder Woman 1984 had clocked 3.3 million households per Samba, right? Interestingly enough, Samba TV found Zack Snyder's Justice League besting the first weekend premiere of Disney plus Marvel's The Falcon and Winter Soldier, which they clocked in at 1.7 million households. Now, I'm going to be doing a review on Falcon and the Winter Soldier very soon, as well as the new Superman episode. So look out for that, Superman and Lois, that is. Disney Plus released a statement yesterday claiming that Falcon and the Winter Soldier posted the most viewed weekend premiere ever on Disney Plus. That means the Snyder Cut itself also beat WandaVision, which is good news as well. But as well as Wonder Woman 1984 beat WandaVision as well. So DC has some hot properties, and they just need to sort them out. Sort the directors out, get more control over their directors, and I think Warner Brothers has a strong chance of overtaking or at least competing with Disney Marvel. But at the moment, it's chaotic. They're letting the fans control them. Before they let the fans control them by releasing the Snyder Cut, now they're letting the fans control them by not continuing with the Snyderverse, even though it's a potentially billion-dollar franchise, if it's managed correctly. And if they manage their talent, such as Zack Snyder, and maybe add a few more people into the mix so as to continue his vision with solo movies. But it just needs managing. Zack Snyder needs managing. They need managing. He can't be the architect anymore of the Snyderverse. It needs management. That's all it needs. But it's a very, very good starting point for me, the Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League, I mean. But yeah, it's beat both Marvel TV shows. But the problem is, it's not a weekend. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to have next week, where it's going to have households, 1.7 million households watching it, and then the week after. So they really need to get some really hot TV shows there at HBO Max. I think they'll be doing that with their Game of Thrones series, which I'm also massively looking forward to. So there's more Game of Thrones spin-offs that are going to be coming out. Disney Plus released a statement yesterday claiming that Falcon and the Winter Soldier posted the most viewed weekend premiere. Yeah. So Justice League grossed. Okay, so now, all right. Actually, this is good because it looks at the maths. 657.9 million worldwide, off what was an estimated 300 million production cost in November 2017. Oof. And according to Deadline Film finance sources, lost 60 million at the time. And people are blaming, Warner Brothers are blaming Zack Snyder, and Zack Snyder should have really told them in no uncertain terms that they should do solo movies first, instead of making him the architect of this universe. He should have said, look, let's make some solo movies first, and then I can do a Justice League, and I'll come up with a story from there. Instead, power went to his head. Even though he had a incredibly divisive film in Man of Steel, and he decided to run with it, and essentially nearly tanked the franchise. But luckily, fortunately, with this film, although it wasn't released in cinemas, it's a very, very good film. And I do think a sequel, if they do it right, and they, I think a sequel to this could make $1.5 billion, if not more, 2 billion. But you can't kill off all your main characters in your second movie and expect it to do that money. you'll alienate a bunch of fans. The Wonder Woman fans will be alienated from the movie. The Aquaman fans who want to see more Jason Momoa won't want to go and watch it. It's very silly to kill off half your cast, especially because I mean Wonder Woman is probably the most beloved of the characters in this Justice League movie, and has basically a really good box office to prove her kind of success, as well as her success on streaming. And then Aquaman is the only character who's made $1 billion in the box office for DC, and you're going to kill them off in the sequel. It's not good business. Really not good business. So that price tag on Justice League is now an estimated $370 million, given the Pix reshoots and additional VFX, as Warner Brothers heeded the social media call of the Pix fans and cast to release the Snyder Cut, seeing a worthy reinvestment and making it a jewel on HBO Max. So yeah, I mean, I've not done the calculations, but like I think from that 70 million, even they didn't even make the 70 million back if you do 1.8 million times 14.99. Yeah, they didn't really make their money back. I think they lost out at about like a good 40 million or something. If that wasn't recouped, or even more. So the new cut expands greatly on the character arc of DC superhero Cyborg, played by Ray Fisher. Blah blah blah. All right, so hello there, man. How's it going? So you think the numbers seem false? And I don't think Wonder Woman 84 could have won. I believe it could. I think the character's very loved. I got HBO Max to watch Wonder Woman 84. I know a lot of people who wanted to see it. So I don't. But the thing is, I think the thing about this, making it out like that's a failure because the Woman 84 beat it, is not. I don't see that as a failure at all. They had a significant rise in their HBO Max subscriptions, no matter what. And if Wonder Woman 84 didn't beat it, and it got more subscriptions, I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem that Warner Brothers now has is that they, there's a fan base, now calling for Ann Sarnoff, even, who put out an article with Deadline, an article with Vanity Fair, where she's basically denounced the toxic fan base of Zack Snyder, which I've been talking about for a long time on this channel. And I don't think they want to fuck with them anymore. I don't think they want anything to do with that toxic fan base. And I think that's the problem right now for, the Snyder Cut and moving forward with Zack Snyder. They're not even asking for something reasonable. They're asking to restore the Snyderverse, to make Zack Snyder the architect of the DC universe, rather than just say, hey, can he direct, like Green Lantern, or could he direct another Justice League movie? They won't have anything less than Zack Snyder take control over Walter Hamada, over over Jeff Johns, over Toby Emmerich. They want him in absolute control over the DC universe and being the architect of the DC universe. And I think Warner Brothers is absolutely right to not want that. The best thing, I think, for Zack Snyder would be to direct another movie, possibly a Justice League, or maybe a Green Lantern with a bookend that leads into another Justice League movie. I think those would be two, because I think especially Green Lantern, you'd want, because it's so silly, the constructs that he has. And I don't mean this as a diss to Green Lantern, but it's very easy for it to be cheesy, the Green Lantern universe. So I think someone like Zack Snyder, with his kind of more serious, mythic directing style, would lend itself well to a project like that, so that people would take it a little bit more seriously. And I think, Zack Snyder plus Green Lantern, that that could put it over the edge to make $1 billion with the amount of interest, especially if it's connected to a potential, a potential sequel, which will lead into, sorry, if it's connected to a potential to lead into a Justice League movie later. So I just think, give Zack Snyder something smaller for now, and see how he does with that project, rather than try and make him the architect of the whole universe again. But as I'm saying, I think these numbers are good. The numbers that fans expected were so unrealistic. That's the problem with it. They were just too unrealistic. There was no way. Oh, and please, if you're watching, please do give me a thumbs up, like and comment, because I'm going to go soon. So if you have anything to comment, do let me know right now. But yeah, as I was saying, what Zack Snyder's, I think that these numbers are good for the Justice League. You couldn't have expected more. Anybody expecting more, I think, is highly unrealistic. You were never going to the 70 million investment. I don't understand. Maybe that's how much they needed to finish the film, but I can't believe that they thought that there was enough fans, hardcore fans of Zack Snyder, that they were going to, all, sign up to HBO Max at the same time just to watch the Snyder Cut. And then there's the international release of it, which has been really difficult during these, times with COVID. So it was always going to be a bit of a loss in a weird way. So I don't think that's the film's fault. I think it's totally overperformed in terms of, basically in terms of subscriptions. Everybody who signed up to watch Wonder Woman 84 probably stayed on to watch the Snyder Cut. So Wonder Woman 84 already has a huge advantage in terms of, Wonder Woman 84 already has a huge advantage in terms of people signed up to watch Wonder Woman 84, and then they're going to want to watch the Snyder Cut as well. So before I go, I'm just going to, and that means that, the numbers of people who signed up were already going to be less for the Snyder Cut. But yeah, it did well. I think that this is good, So what did you think of the epilogue? I thought the epilogue was terrible. By the way, guys, I have a lot of thoughts on the Snyder Cut. I'll put a couple of videos I did on my other channel in the description box so that you can have a look at everything I had to say about the Snyder Cut. I did a long review, and also I did a discussion, a couple of debates about the Snyder Cut as well. So I'm going to put that in the description box. But I think the epilogue was awful, and I think really, Matt, that in terms of going forward, what Snyder should focus on, if he's given the opportunity at all, is a Justice League where all the Justice League remain alive. You can't kill off Aquaman and Wonder Woman, right? I also thought the epilogue was awful. Yeah, exactly, Venya. You can't kill off Aquaman and Wonder Woman. The two most successful people the two people who've had the most successful solo movies in the franchise. Why would you do that? That's fucking crazy for a sequel. And then you're killing off Harley Quinn as well, which is kind of like there's a pattern here of just killing off women in order to advance the storylines of male Superman, Joker, and Batman. You can't just kill off Harley Quinn, Wonder Woman, and Lois Lane for that. You're going to get huge backlash, I think, from a lot of communities who are just going to be like, that's completely sexist and misogynistic to do that. And then the Joker was just terrible. I've never seen such a terrible Joker in my life. The jury was out with Jared Leto before. I really thought that it was the editing that did him a disservice in Suicide Squad. But after watching him here, I'm done with Jared Leto's Joker. I think they should move Joaquin Phoenix. Who cares? You just, even if it's not a sequel to his own movie, just move Joaquin Phoenix over to the DCEU as the Joker. I'm sure he'll do it. All right, quickly, last two. It's difficult to determine what the true numbers are now with streaming, but if the numbers were amazing, then they'd be continuing with the Snyderverse. I don't think so. I think they're fed up of the toxic fan base of Zack Snyder. That's the truth of it. And I think for them to really, continue with the Snyderverse, the numbers would have had to be beyond amazing because of the headache that certain of the toxic fan base continually made. Basically the toxic fan base, like I think put people like Ann Sarnoff and put people like Walter Amada off ever dealing with Snyder's fan base again. And I think that's what's derailed the Snyderverse much more than the numbers. I think the numbers are fine. I think if you remember, soon after they announced putting out that they were going to do the Snyderverse, or they were going to release the Snyderverse on HBO Max, very soon after that, people were asking them about the Ayer cut, and they released on their official page on HBO Max that you never know, right? So they were very, very willing to put the Ayer cut out and all of that kind of stuff if it meant for more HBO Max subscriptions. But I think they're just done with the Snyder fan base, especially with the Ray Fisher stuff as well. I think it's finished. But you never know. Hopefully, cooler heads will prevail and Snyder will get a couple more movies. Hopefully with a little bit of oversight to ensure that he doesn't go crazy. I also thought the epilogue was awful. Yeah. The characters were the most successful and the fans will lose interest knowing that doesn't matter how the story goes. They'll just end dead. So it doesn't give much excitement for the future. Exactly. And then I would have loved a Mark Hamill Joker just because of the voice. Yep. What can we say? We would have had Mark Hamill giving Ben Affleck a reach around. The most iconic words ever spoken in a comic book movie. So, you know what, guys? I'm going to leave this one. And thanks so much for all your comments, all your support. Please remember to like, give me a high five, smash that like button. And all the comments. I love the comments and I'll be responding to the comments later. Tell me what you think of these numbers. And have a good one. Yes, and see you on the flip side. And I love you 3000. Peace.